So, what you're going to do today is we're going to take a look at those pictures, and I wrote down some of your titles from yesterday. Okay.
So in this program, we're encouraged to see this classroom kind of like sharing the space with our CT. And so sometimes I would follow her and be kind of like her shadow and see how she talks to kids, how she gives instructions, and then she'll create space where I get to help her teach a lesson, and she will observe as I teach, and then we'll talk about it afterward.
I think one thing that I really appreciate about her is just her perspective. I think there are days where even after like teaching for 7 years, like I get frustrated really easily about things that might not have gone the way that I wanted it to go. And I think just having her lens, it's like her very appreciative lens of like, hey, like this is what the kids are doing, and like she's blown away by things that I don't even think about anymore.
We don't like to think about our cooperating teachers as being fixed experts. We think about them as being wonderful models of teacher learning.
We try to co-teach together. So we'll sit together at the front of the classroom, and that's why we have 2 chairs. And we try to piggyback off of each other of ideas that we want to talk about with the students. And so it becomes a collaborative effort, so it's not I'm teaching or she's teaching. It's we're doing this together.
Really, Haley's like modeling everything that she does, and I can kind of use her language that I'm hearing in the moment and kind of like echo that a little bit and take it on as my own.
The model that we use is a model called C.A.R.E, and the acronym C.A.R.E stands for critical, appreciative, reflective, and experiential. The C.A.R.E model is new for all of us. For the cooperating teachers who are working with the pre-service teachers, this is a new way of thinking about mentoring and a new way of thinking about teaching.
So we have a pre-conference before we have our an activity, and then we have the activity, and afterwards we'll have the post-conference. And then what I'll do is, as we're communicating with each other, I'll always bring it back to the data. I'll always talk about what the kids were doing and what I noticed with the students. And I feel like in having those conversations, it really helps guide us to realize what we want to do differently or modify for the next activity.
She tries not to praise or not to criticize as much. She lets me do all the reflecting, and I think that is really helpful because when I am teaching a class on my own, I won't have someone like that to tell me, I noticed that you did this and you should do this or that. So in a way, she's preparing me for that role as a teacher.
Mentoring is very difficult work. It's very hard to balance a teacher's own goals for her classroom with her goals as a teacher of teachers. So one thing that's been really useful is the community, the group of cooperating teachers who come together to talk about that struggle.
In our course, we have like 10 to 12 people, and what we do is we all get together and we always get the opportunity to reflect on our experiences. And so that's really nice to have that opportunity to talk with other people about what we're learning as mentors and how we're growing as mentors, because it helps us to feel like we're not alone in this process.
So there's a phrase that we use, coaching the coach. And so often we're engaged in talking about videos of both their pre-service teachers teaching, but also their coaching of their pre-service teachers.
Our approach is very, very different. Our approach is really primarily focused on getting teachers to begin to use students as their teachers. That is, if they can just learn to be responsive, if they can learn to be good kid watchers, if they can learn to be good in assessing while they're teaching, then their teaching will grow and become more powerful.
So the cheetah is faster than the shark, and it also